that is good. We tend to get up when the mind is bad to go do something, but when it tell us to do something good, oh, we could put it, we can do it tomorrow. Okay, we got it. But tomorrow may be too late because when you try to figure out exactly what it was, it's gone to the next person. It gone to the wiser man, the man who wanted it more, because obviously you didn't want it. And then you will, like, for example, when the pandemic hit, I remember I was talking to one of my son godfather, and I was saying to him, man, I wish I could create a sensor that when people walk through it, it just spray them, so nobody have to touch anything. Because during the height of the pandemic, you could not touch nothing. 6 feet apart, we wipe down the doors. I don't know how my hand don't look like a door. We wipe every single thing. When I mean, you go out just for a quick minute, even if you just wipe your hand, you gotta wipe it again. Every little thing, you gotta have sanitizer. Every little thing, mask on. You're dehydrated more than ever. And I called my son godfather before they start figure out how to use, what they call it, services that you don't have to touch the things. They want to do touch, what they call it, handless service, where you don't have to touch the things. I don't remember. I don't know. But anyway, and I called him and I said, I get an idea of how to invent something. And I literally reach out to a company. This is no joke, guys. I literally reach out to invention company. They have a company called. Jeez, my memory is so bad. People, I ain't lying. It called intervention. Like if you have an intervention, like something come to your mind and you're skillful about it, you can sketch it out. They can help formulate it, either the product, this whatever you're trying to formulate for you. What was it? And even was they had came on the radio too. What was the name? I would have to go back in my email. I don't even think it was this email. No, it's not this email. I would have to figure out the other email that was, because I no longer use that email. But anyway, and I reached out to a company, and I did up. They send me some things that they would want me to do, like a portfolio, like to give synopsis of how I would want this stuff. And at the time, it's called Hot Mass. Hot Mass. The product that I was thinking of was, it was more than one, but the one that I reached out to them with was, because the first one I got, I didn't have money. That one would cost me money to do what I wanted to do. But anyway, somebody had already installed that one, where you walk to those things that you have the hand sanitizer just spray out. That somebody had installed it here in Michigan. So that one was out, because that one you need require money. And then I got a few more along the way, but as I said, you don't have the money, you might as well you just do a U-turn sometime. Okay, you're just a visionary. So anyway, so the next one I came up with was hot mask. Because you see, we were wearing masks everywhere we go. So on the mask, I had to describe how they would have, because they would have formulated the product for me. So I had to formulate, they send me a thing, and I would have to formulate the product and everything. So I did all of that. I sketch it out too as much as I could, because I'm not an artist, but I sketch it out as fast as much as I could, and send it over and everything. Guess where I stuck? When they give you something that it might cost you $800, it might cost you maybe $200 or something. That's where I stuck and left it right there. You see how you can get stuck somewhere, guys? That goes to show that doesn't mean you don't have the knowledge. You got the knowledge. You have the talent, you have the ability. But there is can also be to the roadblocks. You can set your things apart, a lot of things apart. Because even right now, I have another intervention. I need to go, as I mentioned, a company, let me write it down. I might need to go talk to them about the other intervention idea that I got. And if I could just Because even the other day I was thinking about, and I said, if I could just literally formulate it right now, like it was easier said than. Because you know, you have anybody who are visionary, they know what they have these things in their head, but sometimes in order to get that visionary out, it can cost you a few dollars. And if you don't got a few dollars or have the wherewithal to go even borrow a loan to execute what you're trying to do, it can also halt you back, put a halt or a damp or a dent and progress it to the next level. Then you have to go think about another one. You know, I forgot the name of the company intervention. Ooh, I don't remember the name of it. It even come on the radio and everything. We reached out a couple months and I was doing everything, and they said, "Wow, that's a good idea." And actually, last year they reached out back to me on that email. They literally reached back out to me and they said, "It's not too late. There is time for you to still do because of how the design was and how I sketched things out." It says it's not too late, and then you have to stay the audience, who you target audience, and how much you expect to sell the product for, and who are you trying to reach. They access so many things, but I have a little bit of business knowledge, so I might not use it now, but some things you put it in the back. It's like you have stuff in your garage and you might not need it now, but something might come up and you remember exactly what it is. You know what I mean? So same way with knowledge. Same way with when you learn, when you educate yourself. You might not. Let's say you're not in the education field now. You're in something else. Whatever area you study, and you're not practice in that area right now, but you're in something else. But if you have to go back there, then your everything start come back. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, they even reach out to me. I'm trying to remember. I'm so confused. Mm. Sometimes you're not even spell, you can't spell no more. But I'm just telling you guys that knowledge is very powerful. It's powerful when it's nurtured and you have the resources and something. And sometimes you have the knowledge and it could be meaningless because there is nothing for you to really showcase that. Showcase your talent. Showcase what you can do. Sometimes there is nothing, especially if it's not a widely research area that you're thinking into or looking into. And then with that hot thing that I told you about too, with that company that had reached out to me too, I went online after I came up with that idea. I went online after that because I didn't use it, and so many people were doing the hot mask, but not like mine. I've seen it. If you go on Amazon, you will see the hot mask up there, but not like what I was gonna do. But if you type in hot mask, you will see their level of hot mask. But what I wanted to do was something similar, but there was a lot of difference in there. It's like you watch the Shark Tanks, and I love Shark Tank, and they will say, it's a lot of this on the market. What set you apart? What make you different? Why you think I should invest in you when there is so much out there? You know what I mean? So you always have your differences that you have to talk about, even if it's a similar product, but you have to show them the distinctive features of that product to make it stand out, to let them know why this is so unique and different. And actually, recently, I think, who's that? One of the Shark Tank guys there. What's his name? What's his name? He have a website that if you have an intervention, like you have a mindset to invent things, be innovative, be creative. In that aspect, they have their teams that can help you with this stuff. And I think I had emailed some things or something like that. I don't remember. Like go on the website and roadblock again. Because is it that you don't want to put in certain information because at the same time anybody can use people and it's not them. You see what I'm saying? Anybody can use people and it's not them. They even advertise on YouTube. Mark Cuban, something another. But then with all these AI and all these things that are going on, that can make you pull back too, if that makes sense. Especially when it comes to putting your social security into anything, that can make you pull back. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff can make you withdraw from a lot of stuff, and that's where we can put a damper into what we want to achieve when it comes to using our knowledge, using our skills, using our understanding, and all of this. That can also put a halt, especially with what is happening nowadays. Because how do we really tell based on our knowledge? How do we really tell what is AI and what is not AI? Because so many things we go have a distinctive feature, but if you weren't dug deep into anything, how are you going to know? Apart from just YouTube, we're not talking just YouTube, but in the other arenas that you are looking to go into professionally, to create a business and to elevate yourself to be better, not just for yourself but to the community at large, in terms of where you live. 'Cause where you live is that's your community. You know, you want to help people and you want to do this or so, but some of these things that you have to take, the steps you got to take sometimes, especially in on the internet, we got to be careful, because it could be a step that take you there and that same step will take you back. You know, because you don't want to put in information in everything, and then next thing you know, you're being hit with something, and only God He knows. And then you're like, what was I thinking? Why was my knowledge not working? So let me see what they say here. They say, what is the best way to define knowledge? Knowledge is awareness of facts, familiarity with individuals and situations, are practical skills. Everything we're doing around us, everything that is around us is what is going to help us. So when you look at knowledge, even though we say knowledge is power, we look at the biblical aspect of it, and also, you know, it's powerful. But it's powerful more when the different perspectives come together. Because as I said, even if you don't agree with what somebody is saying based on this, they just give you an idea over here. And with you getting this idea, you're now able to form something else. You saw knowledge, you saw connection, you saw connections are formed because somebody have this perspective on something. Now you start to look, and it's also very important to look at key elements. Because sometimes we look at something as a whole, and when you look at a whole thing that look like garbage, that's what's work you up. What if you have to dissect the garbage and say, let me look through the rubble and see? Because to you, somebody could be talking, what they say? In our culture, they say, you speak in foreign language to us, especially if you didn't know what it is somebody's alluding to. You say, you speak in foreign language to us. That's what we would say. You speak in foreign language. It's not a word we don't understand. That's what the older folks would be saying then. You know, you speak in foreign language to us. Not knowing that it's a different way of thinking. And everybody ain't going to think like you, me, us. We all going to be thinking different. You could have one subject, and that one subject can lead to so many different angles. You're like, even in schools, I see my son learning, like they were learning the AE sound word, AE word. Give me a word that have A and E in it. And then you see so many little words that they be throwing out there, the kids. Like then I say, nope. Or I'm just giving an example, like, but it's not the AE one. Maybe you'll have apple, yeah, ape, you know what I mean, and so on. So it just show that you can see so many things that come from different ways. It's how we, the people who are going to consume these things, are going to think about it. Oh, but those are connections. It might not be connection that you want to use, but it just gave you another idea of how to use that same thing that this person was doing. They may never do it effective. Like, anybody watch me for a while, I think I've said before, I said, instead of we criticizing somebody else about what they did and you didn't like it, if you gain an idea from what they were saying, go for it. Because this is how connections are formed. This is how contents are made, especially in our YouTube world. Instead of bash the person, when you find out what that person, that one element that that person missed out of the thing that you think it was key, now you have a topic to talk about on your area, or on, are you now you have the ability to use your expertise. Yes, put it this way. You see what I'm saying? Because is like, have you ever seen somebody answering a question and they get half the question right? The next person that was standing there clueless just come out and said, George Lopez. Who getting it correct? That the first person who said George gonna get a half a point, and the second person who said George Lopez. I don't know why I said George Lopez. You know what? I was watching Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez. I was watching Jennifer, not Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Hudson. I was watching her show, and Jennifer Lopez was on there. So maybe that's it. But then the person who said Lopez now, what did I say? I don't even know. I'm confused. That person is gonna get the prize because they answer it fully. They did not answer halfway, like the first name. They answered both first name and last name, especially if they ask. So knowledge, experience, understanding will help us, but it comes through different ways. The different ways in which we learn, whether hands-on, whether through learning through different theories, where learning this to writing, reading, art. Look at some people. They have we have buy all these painting and put on the walls. And you would look at these people and you would say to them, you know what? How do they do art? But if they tell you they can't write it, but they can draw it, you'll be shocked. You will be shocked. And that's why we have these different perspectives. Through their art, they can tell you exactly what they did. But maybe give it to them to write and they will not be able to write. You know why? Because maybe when they were going through schools, or they didn't go to school because they could have challenges growing up. Nobody to care for them. So therefore they had to pick something up that could calm their nerves so they could stay out of anybody who want to harm them way. So they pick up art. And a lot of people who write music, how you think that come about? You think that come up? Some people are naturally talented and a generation now, but some people along the way through their journey, all the things that were hurting them, whether directly or indirectly, and they didn't have a safe place or platform to talk about these issues, then they turn it into music. It's like watching cartoon, like for example, Booba. Booba don't talk to save his life, that cartoon. But Booba create all the things in this world. Whoop! And then he knocks something over and he rolling big self and he doesn't knock over. And then the kids just bust out laughing. But through that, through the pictures or so like stuff like that, you can able to ask your children, what was that? What did he knocked over? And they can tell you, oh, it's a guitar. He playing the keyboard. He never say he playing the keyboard, but he actually playing the keyboard. But he don't talk. He makes sound. And then as adult, we might be thinking that maybe the person who create this is somebody who is deaf. Then they don't have no talking, they don't have no speech, but they through their sounds, they're able to create things. They're able to demonstrate. And that's why we have to look at things. Some people we can demonstrate, but we can really craft it out. We could sketch it out. You can't write, but you can talk. You can't read, but you can't run. You can't hop, but you can skip. You see, we all have these things that one of the things I look at when it comes to knowledge too, I've seen people with no limb for example, and they use their foot to write. Ain't that some knowledge right there? Ain't that power? I bet we, with our good hand and good foot, never tried it. We tried that, we probably mark the whole page up. Okay, you know why? Because he didn't give that to us, that ability. I had a family member when I was growing up, and he was blind. He was a born blind, but he was blind because he was on his job and something caught him in his eye. And as a result, he lost his sight. And you would never fool that man with money. At the time, there was no braille. You know, the thing for them to feel and can tell you what it is and all. There was none of that. But he was able to, I don't know, don't ask me how he know how to feel the money and tell you, oh, this is $100. I have no clue. I asked him before he passed, and he said it's just another ability. When you lose your sight, God give you another one. That's what I call a sixth sense. And he know exactly the amount of change he's supposed to get back. And he always make me think, is this man blind? You could not fool him for a second. And then I had another family member. She got hurt, and she some incident, and then she became deaf. So now she watch your facial expression. So I guess that's where I learned a lot of facial expression from. Because when I was communicating with her, we have to be loud for her to hear us. Soft tone, she not gonna hear. She will just be looking there and probably nodding her head. But depending on how you open your mouth, then she will understand exactly what you're trying to say, and then she will be communicating with you. But it's so powerful to see all these things, and you'll be wondering why. My adopted mother that grew me, she losing her sight, and while I was still in Jamaica, I used to say, "Ma, how do you see to get outside? If you can't see," she walk everywhere, and she literally, cause she have, I think, and that's why you see back in the olden days, the knowledge that we have now, they didn't have that then. The wherewithal that we got now, there was none then. And even if it was there, it was only for the few who could afford it. So this is how far long we have came, or we have come. A long way. Because a lot of things that weren't addressed when you were younger, because I seen it in my family, I can speak on it. It's not that it wasn't there, but the proper treatment was not there because they didn't have the wherewithal. And the knowledge just say, you know what, let me go out here and do this and do that. Because back then, when I hear stories of people back then growing up, as far as I can remember, they said they drop out of school at the age of maybe some people 10, 15, very early. They're out in the street hustling, get themselves in the wrong things. Some people get pregnant early, and then that's the beginning of their livelihood. So education would be boxed to the curve if there was no one to help swing them back to reality. And that's why it's very important when we got the knowledge, the understanding, the skills, the theoretical aspect of things to put that not just in us, but our children, the people around us as much as we can. Not everybody gonna accept them. Still gotta remember that's why we have the pros and cons. Because many times we're looking at, oh, but nobody want this, nobody want that. That's not that. That's just one aspect. There's many more to why somebody don't want something. They could have bad experience, or they could know somebody that knows somebody from where they're trying to get help, and that person was being denied, turned down, and they just assume that they are in that bracket. But is what we're going to do to help change the stigma that is affiliated with the things that people need is going to make the difference. And now I've seen a lot of people say, not because this person get turned on for something doesn't mean you're going to get turned on. For example, going to the US embassy to go get a visa, I might get denied, and you might call me and say, hey, resilient, did you get through? And I said, no. No, I put fear in you because I told you I was denied. Now you want to go because you probably said to me, you know what, resilient, if you go get your visa, then I'm going to go get mine. Because if you get my yours, then I can get mine, right? That's the spirit, right? But then when you hear you call or I call and say, hey, I got denied, or we say turned away or turned down, then it put a little bit of fear in you. Worse if you know how much money that person paid to go to the embassy. I'm just using that as an example. You know what I mean? Or it's like you go out to get a job and your cousin and you are working all over, and you say, all right, let me go first and see if I get you. And if I get you, then you come on in. Because you don't want they know that both of you know each other. You know what I mean? So you put one foot in, then the next foot come in after. And then you go and they say, oh, no, we don't need you. They might not say we don't need you, but more polite. Then you say to that person says, oh, well, I'm not going to bother. Not realizing that because you said that to them doesn't mean that that's their keckle of fish, but it's just a stigma that was attached to it now. Put fear into them. Because I say, okay, I didn't get you. I guess they didn't like me. Maybe it wasn't your time. But if that person have gone and tried for themselves, they probably would have got through. And these are the things we have to learn to shift away from. Not because I get failure in life doesn't mean you're gonna get failure in life. You know what I mean? If you don't try, how you gonna learn? You just gonna live off of what I say? You gotta go there and try for yourself too, so you can gain experience for yourself. Because you're using my experience to fry yourself and fry the whole world. We can't do that. Cause that's just my experience I was sharing with you. You haven't even gone through the door to even try, but you have a conclusion of the whole situation or the problem or anything. But you gotta go and try for yourself. And that's how we're going to stay with knowledge. Because if I come and I say, well, it's not working for me, doesn't mean it won't work for you. Your perspective is different. Your knowledge is going to be different. Your understanding of how you perceive the world around you is going to be different. You're going to have similarities, but we also will have difference. When we were in school, it's so funny. Was it called a Venn diagram? Where the things that are similar go in the middle, and the things that are different, one would be over here, that are unique, are distinctive to this community here, and are distinctive to this community will be over here, but the things that are very much in common will be in the middle. What was that called? A Venn diagram? Because even now in this world, even as a content creator, you have to look at yourself and say all of us is doing the same thing, but there is one thing that they're not doing that I am doing, and it's being me. You gotta be yourself. You gotta look. You have a Venn diagram. Okay, you might pull up all the communities that you see around you, or all the channels that you see around you. I'm just tying it into YouTube so we can understand something here, including myself. For we only have 5 more minutes to go. And you have this community here. And you look into it and you say, okay, all of us are doing this in the middle. But what am I doing over here and what this person is doing over here? These are the things in common. But you're being you over here. And you are being you over here. We have to always stay in line to be ourselves or through authentic self. Some situation, especially if it is like legal matters or something that are being dealt with lawyers involvement or so forth, you won't be able to go around that. You have to be respectful and wait till you can freely do so. You understand? So you have levels to things, and you have to have understanding to things, and you have to have knowledge to things, because that's what really gonna bring power. When we say somebody is a powerhouse, we're not just saying because we want to say it. You're saying it because it should be genuine. It should be authentic. When you tell somebody you're professional, you're you're making an impact, you're making a difference. It is something different that you're looking at that person, that person just have a distinctive feature that separate him or her from the rest of the pack. Their energy, their spirit, their vibes, their ability to bring things that are you didn't even think of, or even if you thought of it, it was something that you wanted to do. And some things are not thought of until we see somebody else do it. But that's how knowledge forms. That's how you gain experience. Or you think we gain experience in this world? It's like growing up and braiding your hair all this time. Now you have rubber band method. Now you have crochet method. No longer the days where you have to do everything from the root of your hair. You braid your hair back, get some crochet, get a crochet needle, and you don't start push things in the hair, and then you make it into style. All you need is 4 big cane in your hair, or maybe 5 or 6, depending on whatever style you're trying to design. Gone were the days. You have lashes. You have one streak lash where you just put in one streak. Gone were the days. Now you have the whole strip. You just take it out. I'm laughing because I just picture my grandmama, my grandmother. She passed away, but I'm just picturing her laughing when you tell her something and it's new to her. And she would say, "Calamity." And she bust out laughing. That was funny, but I just remember, you see how you can remember people in the good times, and that's why it's very important to strengthen ourselves so we can uplift ourselves, so we will be in a Venn diagram, but we know where we're common, and we know where be ourselves, the difference. We'll know the things that are similar, and we will know the things that are different with us. And that is us, the way we do things. I mean, it may not be in line with everything, but we always gotta remember that. So, family, we can all knowledge is power. We can always look all over the place for knowledge. You're gonna get knowledge even from in your house. You know, we gonna get knowledge everywhere we go, whether we like it or not. I remember when the first time I learned the word, what was the word? First time I learned the word technophile, my teacher started laughing to me and said, "No, and you gonna use that word so much." Because I learned something new. And in order for it to be synchronized into my existing scheme, I had to put it in there. Not just once, not just twice, not just thrice. I had to keep reinforcing it. Now it's embedded, so now I know. And me, far from technophile. I used to have this guy when he wanted the teacher to shut up. He used to, English teacher, when he wanted the teacher to shut up, teacher said something in literature class, and he wanted the teacher to shut up. He said, "Precisely, miss, precisely, exactly, miss, exactly." Now he's in the army over here, big rank in here now. Just goes to show that you look at a man down there, but you don't know where his future lies. The only man know where their future lies is God, because He created us, so He know where all of our future lies. But does that mean we must stop? No. That's why He give us knowledge. That's why He give us understanding. That's why He give us the experience that we're gonna gain from things, the hands-on things. But anyway, family, we ain't gonna stay long. I want to say a big shout out to each and every one. Knowledge is power, baby love. And true power, it come from within, you know what I mean? A lot of things gonna come from the facts around us, the lessons we're gonna gain along the way, the people that are gonna come along the way. They're gonna teach us a thing or two that we never know, you know. So we have to be prepared for things and be prepared to remember perspective it should be at the top of the list, especially if we're content creators and we're trying to elevate to the next level. Sometimes somebody texts you something and you might not understand, because sometimes when you do text, especially if you use a voice note thing there to send a text, ooh, that can mess your thought process up, and that was not what you intended to say. And then it's after you hit the button, somebody say retract, they had to delete it because it might be taken the wrong way. And that's another thing. We have to have some knowledge and understanding to say. Because if you use these things, you will already know that it could be an error. You have to know these things. And then some things are intentional. So we have to look at things in different light so that we don't have to come across as being, we don't call it defensive for no obvious reason. You know what I mean? For nothing, as we talk about nothing. You know what I mean? Let's just give everybody their perspective on life. So, because it's a world we're in, we're in a whole world where we're gonna see things that are so unique, so different, but that doesn't mean it's not unique. You don't have unique things to you too, in your culture, in your way of life, in the way you were raised too, and it's not just culture but also the way you were raised. It's as big as America be. You have so many different culture. You'll be shocked. You have so many different culture. As much as this is United States of America, we have everybody from all walks of life. When you talk about all the different activities that they're doing, the holidays and stuff like that, where you think all of these things come from? Not you don't come from one community, come from a diverse community. So we have to be careful and just be respectful. Something don't sit well with you, just relax. You know what I mean? Because this world, you gain some knowledge, maybe not the knowledge that you wanted, but through that, what you do now is start to think, how can you make this around to be different? How can you make this be different? You know what I mean? And that way, we will start to see something and appreciate. It's like a man who never traveled. He don't appreciate nothing but what's around him. You cannot even give him what they call it, octopus to eat. He gonna look at you and say, boy, if you don't get away from me with that, he ain't gonna eat no octopus. Somebody out there eating snake. You might not eat it because that's not the way you were raised. You didn't raise up on these things. I saw a young lady recently was doing some of these things. But anyway, family, as I said, we're not staying no longer. So let me just call. Big shout out to Big Jack Story Time in the house. Big shout out to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Dapper PH, big shout out to you. Thank you for stopping by. And Chip Lassau, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate. And CEO of Cash, big shout out to you. And Kashana Harvey, big shout out to you. And Up Movement TV, big shout out to you guys. And they all have a channel, guys. Please go check them out. I know Dapper PH have a show that you can see, I think every Saturdays 8:30 Eastern time. And Big Jack Storytime, he also have a show that you can check out on Sundays, and I think he said on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. East. I think he's Eastern time, yes. And then Chipla South, he have a show as well that he bring people on his show and stuff like that. I forgot what should I say? I forgot the hours that he bring people on his show, but he do have people that he bring on his show as well and encourage everybody. And I want to say also, guys, I found Big Jack. I don't know if you're still here. I found this young man here that have he do music. I don't know which part of the world he's in, if he's in Mexico or whatever, or he's Latino or anything. But I found his music and he have some good music. So if you guys want to check him out, his name is Richard Torres or something like that. Torres Torres. Richard. So if you guys want to go check his music out, I also post him on my thing there because I know many of you now are doing shows where you show talents. So I don't know how you guys could reach out. He sing beautiful music, guys. So you guys could go check that out as well, and every check him out as well. 'Kay, you know, I love to see talent, and when I see talent, you know them. I was talented. People saw me, see me for who I am, and that's what helped me to flourish to the next level. You know, even though sometimes you get to the next level and you have to put a pause on something because of the decisions you make or the steps you take that was at the moment you weren't seeing. But anyway, to God be the glory, people. Great things He has done. Thank you guys for stopping by. Manners of and respect to each and everyone. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by. All right, manners of and respect every time.